Most people think financial freedom is this distant, fuzzy dream, something maybe for our 60s or 70s. But what if I told you it wasn't a dream at all? What if it was just math, a clear, predictable process? Today, we're going to unpack a blueprint for exactly that, a 5-year countdown that isn't built on wishful thinking, but on the cold, hard, unstoppable power of compounding.
But first, let's get real. Let's start with that sound. You know the one. The alarm goes off, it's dark outside, and the first thought that hits you is, ugh, how many more years of this? It's a feeling we all know, right? That feeling of being chained to a schedule, to a paycheck. Well, that's the exact feeling we are here to dismantle today.
And here's the root of the problem. For most of us, the future is just abstract. Retirement? It's this blurry idea way off on the horizon, so we just don't think about it. We cross our fingers and hope some kind of magic will happen down the line. But let's be honest with ourselves. Hope has never been a real financial strategy.
Okay, so enough about the problem, let's get concrete. What we're about to dive into is called the 2-3-5 Freedom Blueprint. And no, this isn't some shady get-rich-quick thing. I want you to think of it more like a map. A map showing how 5 very focused years can completely alter your life's trajectory, leading you somewhere totally different.
Right, and here's where the map becomes crystal clear. This whole journey breaks down into 3 very distinct stages. First, we have the foundation, which covers years 1 and 2. After that, we hit the acceleration, that's years 3 and 4. And finally, the part everyone's waiting for, the explosion in year 5 and beyond. Each one of these stages has a job to do, and understanding them is absolutely key to seeing this thing through.
All right, stage 1. Let's not sugarcoat it. This is, without a doubt, the hardest part. They call it the invisible years, and man is that accurate. This is where you're putting in all the work, all the sacrifice, for almost nothing you can see. It's really less about your money and more about testing your grit.
And it feels like the universe is just ignoring you on purpose. You're doing everything right, you're saving, you're being consistent, and you log in to check your account and it's barely budged. It is so frustrating. You really start to wonder, is this whole compounding thing just a myth? Is it just for people who are already rich?
Okay, look at this, because this chart explains that feeling perfectly. See the difference? Your effort is this massive bar, but the growth you can actually see is tiny. Now, this isn't because it's broken. This is the system working exactly as it should. Compounding isn't trying to reward you yet. It's testing you. It's asking, are you going to keep showing up even when it looks like nothing is happening?
But if you stick with it, something really important happens around the end of year 2. We call it the awakening. It's that first time you look at your statement and you can actually see it. The tiny bit of money you earned in year 1 has now earned its own money. It might just be a few bucks, but it's real. And in that one moment, your entire belief system flips. You go from hoping this works to knowing it works. And honestly, that mental shift is the entire point of these first 2 years.
And once you have that awakening, oh man, everything changes. Welcome to stage 2, gaining momentum. That little snowball you've been painstakingly pushing up a hill, it suddenly starts to feel heavy. It's starting to roll on its own, and you're not just pushing it anymore, you're guiding it.
This is where the math itself actually changes. See, most of us live in an addition mindset. I save $200, my net worth goes up by $200. It's simple, it's linear. But in this acceleration phase, you shift to a multiplication mindset. Now, every dollar you invest is like a tiny worker that goes out and earns for you. And the money they earn, it goes out and hires more workers. Your money isn't just adding up anymore, it's starting to multiply.
And all of this leads to this one incredible moment. It's called the tipping point. This is the day, usually somewhere in year 3 or 4, when you realize that the growth from your investments alone, just the growth, is now more than all the new money you put in that entire year. Think about that. Your money is now officially outworking you. It feels like you've discovered some secret cheat code for the game, but it's not a cheat code. It's the prize you get for not giving up.
But this is also where the biggest mistake happens. This is the danger zone. For the first time, people see a real balance in their account, maybe $10,000, $15,000, and they get spooked. They think, I should just take this now before I lose it. They cash out. And doing that, it's like an airplane speeding down the runway, about to take off, and the pilot just cuts the engines. All that fuel you burned in the invisible years was to get you airborne. If you quit now, you never ever get to fly.
Which brings us to the final stage, the part everyone is waiting for. If you don't cut the engines, if you let that plane take off, you enter stage 3, the explosion. And this is where that growth curve that's been looking so flat for so long just goes vertical. It's not a gentle climb anymore. It's a rocket launch.
I mean, just look at this. This is the crazy math of the explosion phase. The growth you see in one single year can be equal to, and sometimes even more than, everything the portfolio earned in all the previous years combined. Just let that sink in for a second. Nothing about your strategy changed. You just gave the momentum enough time to do its thing.
And this is where the conversation shifts. We stop talking about just net worth, and we start talking about something much more important, the freedom number. This isn't about being a millionaire. It's actually much simpler. It's the amount of money your portfolio needs to generate each year to cover your life. That's it. Once your investments can pay your bills, the chain is broken. Work is no longer a necessity. It becomes a choice.
So what does that look like in the real world? Let's use a number that feels attainable, right? For a lot of people, if their investments could just spin off $40,000 a year, that's it. They'd be free. That's a goal you can actually wrap your head around.
And here is the aha moment. In the explosion phase, it's totally possible for the portfolio's growth in that 1 year, say $42,500, to be more than your freedom number. The system is now generating more than you need to live, all by itself. It's become self-sufficient.
And listen, this is about so much more than numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about a feeling. It's about waking up because you're rested, not because an alarm clock screamed at you. It's about knowing that if you lost your job tomorrow, it would be an annoyance, not a full-blown emergency. Your confidence doesn't come from your job title anymore. It comes from the simple, powerful truth that your time is finally your own again.
Okay, so the big question is, how do you start? How do you actually kick off your own 5-year countdown? Well, the best part about this whole thing is that it's way simpler than you probably think. The entire plan is built on consistency, not on complexity.
It's just 4 steps. First, pick a monthly amount you can actually stick with. It doesn't need to be a huge number. The commitment is what matters. Second, choose something simple and diversified like a basic market index fund. Don't overthink it. Third, and this is critical, automate everything. Have the money transferred the day you get paid so it's gone before you can spend it. And fourth, I want you to literally write down a date 5 years from today. Circle it on a calendar. That is your explosion horizon. You are not allowed to judge how well this is working before that date arrives.
Because in the end, it all boils down to this one core idea. This blueprint works because consistency will always beat intensity, and time in the market will always beat timing the market. The secret sauce here, it's just endurance.
So we're going to leave you with one final thought. Just picture it. 5 years from this exact day. That day is going to arrive no matter what you do between now and then. The only question is, when you get there, will you be standing on the other side with your money working for you, where work is finally a choice, or will you just be looking back, wishing you had started your countdown today? That choice, that's all yours.